So sometime late last night, Marvel made a huge announcement that there was going to be an announcement today. And they opened up with a live stream on the local Twitters, Marvel Studios Twitter, and it kicked off with a guy walking into a warehouse, placing down a casting chair. On the back of it, it said Crims Hemsworth. And that only means one thing, right? The big announcement is a live stream announcing the cast of Avengers Doomsday, which officially started production today. We'll talk about that in a second, because the fact that this movie's already in production is, one, crazy, but two, this live stream as a whole is probably going to go down as one of the worst casting period announcements period of all time. Like, it was really, really bad. The castings themselves were not bad. There's some really big surprises in there, but like the way that they went about it, doing like a 5.5 hour live stream and announcing one name at a time every 15 minutes, whenever you know like half the people that are already going to be in it, probably not what I would have done. I think that most people didn't have time to sit around all day, so you know, I don't know. I don't really get it. It got more interesting as we got to the end, because we started to get some names that mean some things. But I want to talk about the cast, everybody that's announced to be in the movie so far, and what I think that means. So as far as the characters go, I'm going to name the characters, not the actors themselves, which, come on, we should know by now. But we already have announced for this movie, we have Thor, Invisible Woman, Falcon / Captain America. We have Bucky. We have the Thing. We have basically all the Thunderbolts. We have Shuri. We have Paul Rudd coming back as Ant-Man. Namor's in this. Shang-Chi's in this. All the Fantastic Four, like I said. The Thunderbolts, like I said. Sentry's in this. Loki was a big announce. I'm assuming he's going to play a very big part in this. And then the big names that we got, which was more of the surprise of the side of thing, was that it was pretty much, with the exception of like your Storms, your Rogues, your Jean Greys, the original X-Men cast from the early 2000s. Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, the others that I am blanking on their names right now, the original Cyclops, he's back, that's pretty cool. And even, probably the biggest announce on here, Channing Tatum is coming back to reprise his role as Gambit in Avengers Doomsday. So pretty much, for the most part, this is going to be the original X-Men and Magneto. Obviously, whenever you look at that, you have the new Avengers. You know, it's going to be your Thunderbolts, your Captain America, your Fantastic Four. That all makes sense. But announcing like the original X-Men, I believe I know where they're going to go with this story. Obviously, Robert Downey Jr. was announced. But the thing that confused me the most is that there are some really big names here that are noticeably absent. And make no mistake, I do not think that they are done revealing the cast for this movie at all. I like Doctor Strange being in this thing would make zero sense if he wasn't. Tom Holland is noticeably absent in this thing. The whole point of bringing back Tom Holland, Spider-Man is supposed to be the main guy in this, and I understand that he's got to do this, and then Spider-Man 4 comes out after Doomsday, and apparently that's going to have a Spider Island plot line attached to it, which makes sense because it's going to be in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, so it's not like Peter's going to go fight, Tony or / Doom and then go hang out in New York for a couple months for a brief intermission and then come back to do the Battle World and Secret Wars. That's not going to happen. So maybe I don't know. Maybe he's not in this. I know he's filming Homer right now, or the Odyssey. I know that he's got to film Spider-Man 4 soon, and then I'm assuming they're going to be doing Doomsday and Secret Wars back to back, right? Like they're going to be filming these things back to back. Hypothetically, you would think so at least. So yeah, no Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, no Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Elizabeth Olsen is not in this thing a couple days after she said that she wasn't going to be. My guess is she'll be back. No Ryan Reynolds and no Hugh Jackman, which is interesting because this is the original X-Men, which is a team that he's very much a part of. So, without that being said, and all these castings, these guys are going to be announced later, and some of them they're cherry-picking and hand-picking of which ones are going to be in Secret Wars and which ones aren't. Let me be firmly clear. All these guys are coming back. Like 1,000%. You're going to see Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. You're going to see Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. You're going to see Andrew Garfield. You're going to see Tobey Maguire. You're going to see... You're probably going to see Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider. You're going to see the original Fantastic Four, I believe. Everybody that ever played a superhero in the Marvel Universe is going to be in Secret Wars. It's just, I think Doomsday is being set up as the more grounded of the two to get to that big battle world show-off, which leaves me with, what is the plot of Avengers Doomsday? Who are they fighting? What is going up against who? And to be honest with you, with the big announcement separately of who's going to be representing the Avengers and who's representing the X-Men, I think that big rumor of how they want to do an X-Men versus Avengers story, I think that's coming true a lot sooner than you think, and I think that's probably the plot of Avengers Doomsday. I think that Doctor Doom is going to put his grimy hands all over it. I think that the original Fantastic Four is going to be in this. No Guardians of the Galaxy, they weren't announced for this thing yet. But I think that the path that they're leading is that they're going to bring back the Hugh Jackmans, the Deadpools. They're going to bring in, a lot of these guys. Because if you remember, in the original Secret Wars comic storyline, all the heroes were segmented off. You had your Fantastic Fours over here, your Avengers over here, the X-Men were hanging out over here. Spider-Man even fist fought a bunch of the X-Men at once until I believe he was brainwashed by Patrick Stewart himself. But I think that they are going to have an X-Men versus Avengers fight in this thing. And I think that that's pretty sick. Now, I still would be shocked if, your Doctor Stranges aren't in this, and maybe they are saving Spider-Man for Secret Wars. That would be kind of confusing. Obviously, they had a lot bigger plans with the Kang thing, and they had to pivot last minute to figure out how they're going to do this all again, but you got to figure out how to get to one plot point to another. With Monica Rambeau being in that X-Men world, that's going to be their pivot to get them to Battle World. I don't even know how they're going to introduce Battle World, because that's the Beyonder. Doom is a big part of Secret Wars, but I don't think he actually built the world. And more importantly, is it I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do this. I really don't. It's going to be very hard, but I think that the plot line that they're going to go with, at least to set up the next movie, is that everybody's going to be put in this situation where they're going to have to fight each other before they join forces and fight against Doom and Galactus and maybe Ultron and the Doom bots and all those people. Is I think that they're trying to figure out a pivot to get from here to there. But what are Doom's motives to put everybody on Battleworld? And are they even going to do the Battleworld storyline? If you're not going to do the Battleworld storyline, why call it Secret Wars? Because that's not Secret Wars. You're just calling it Secret Wars because that seemed a natural, extension to go from Infinity War to Secret Wars. But that doesn't make any sense. But if I had to look at this cast, knowing that more is definitely coming, I still don't know how they're going to do this. I don't know what movies are going to be what's going to be more important. No Mark Ruffalo also. Or was Mark Ruffalo announced? I don't think Mark Ruffalo was announced yet. So more names 100% have got to be coming. Like your Chris Pratts, your rest of your Guardians, your Mark Ruffalos. These guys have got to all be coming back, right? In some capacity. But Doomsday is probably going to be the more grounded one, even though Doomsday seems like it's the bigger Avengers movie. But then the problem is nothing can really trump the Secret Wars side of things, so you gotta have Doomsday lead into Secret Wars with Spider-Man in between it. Really hard to get out of that one. But they have a plan for it, and their pivot is they're gonna be going with the X-Men. And I know the Russos were really wanting to focus on the X-Men. I think that having Hugh Jackman team up with the original X-Men again, that's a possibility now, and I love it. And I think you got to do it. Even having Deadpool join that group with Channing Tatum. The problem is because the original X-Men line is so fucked up. I don't think these guys are going to be our X-Men unless it's going to take place during a time period where it was after Days of Future Past, where he set everything right and before Logan, and before Neil Patrick Harris, Professor X killed all the X-Men. But the only issue is that that world will already have a Logan, but Deadpool's got his own Logan, so unless they do 2 Logans, I think that this is probably not our X-Men, this is going to be an alternate timeline where these X-Men are all together, and maybe, I don't know. The only way I can think to do this is that maybe these X-Men lost their Wolverine and their Gambit, and then Deadpool and Wolverine go back and get Gambit, and then they join forces with the X-Men, or maybe the X-Men already have their own Gambit, and their own Gambit is Channing Tatum, but they can't have a Logan, and that's how Deadpool and Wolverine get attached to this. Maybe. But what I do know is that I don't expect to see an Andrew Garfield here. I don't expect to see a Tobey Maguire here. I don't expect to see like some of the big ones, like a Nicolas Cage here, or the original Hulk here, or the original Fantastic Four, or Matt Murdock's Daredevil, or the Punisher. I think that this is going to be, the lesser extreme of the two. I know that they really want to have Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman interact, because you have to do that. Which also means that the Spider-Man 4 movie is 100% not going to be a grounded film. It's going to be a Spider Island film. Which leads me to believe that they're going to end up on Battleworld, and Spider-Man is going to get separated, and the Spider Island plotline will take place in a section of Battleworld, maybe, and Toby and Andrew get introduced to the Battleworld by helping out Tom first, and then they all go join the Secret Wars together, hand in hand, where the rest of the battle is taking place. I wonder if Galactus is going to be in this thing. I don't know. It's so much to juggle. Be hard to handle it. But they managed to do Infinity War, and they managed to do Infinity War in a good, concise, compact way, where it wasn't too much, and it was a narratively, good story, instead of just hands the whole time, just guys throwing hands. And the Russos will, I'm sure, have a way to figure out how to do that again. So yeah, Avengers Doomsday cast list. What'd you think of it? Did you like it? I liked it. I think there's more to come. I didn't like the announce itself, how they went about it. That was kind of stupid. But then they knew that everybody was gonna eat it up anyway. So, but yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, adios, and goodbye.